Eat, Drink, DFW from the Dallas Morning News is made possible by Central Market.
Hi, and welcome to Eat, Drink, DFW, the podcast from the Dallas Morning News food team. Each week, we take a look at the food and drink trends happening in North Texas, learn some new recipes, and sometimes even get tips from your own kitchen. I'm Anna Butler. I'm the Dallas Morning News' food and events editor, and this week we'll kick off with some of the latest restaurant news in Dallas-Fort Worth. We also have a little bit of inspiration for you as you head into Super Bowl Sunday. It's all coming up right after this.
Central Market is really into food. Like when we say cheese, it's in 12 languages into food. Butchers, bakers, and sushi roll makers into food. We're talking so obsessive about quality you can shop blindfolded into food. Central Market is really into food. If you are too, then let us turn your shopping list into a treasure map. Get inspired, get adventurous, or just get a chef-made dinner when you've got more taste buds than time. No place makes every meal more amazing like Central Market. Really into food. Shop now at centralmarket.com.
Find all the latest news from our food team at dallasnews.com/food. And if you're behind on episodes, catch up with Eat, Drink, DFW anywhere you listen to podcasts. We'd also love to hear from you. If you need restaurant suggestions, recipe ideas, or even have a topic you think we'd like, send it to eatdrink@dallasnews.com. I am joined by our food writers Claire Baller, Sarah Blaskovich, and Imelda Garcia. Today, we are kicking off with some really sad news that isn't quite like the newest news, but we're all not over Luka right now.
We're not. We are very much not over the Luka Doncic trade. For those listening who are more food focused than sports focused, and you are unaware of this news, the Mavs star player Luka Doncic was traded, shockingly, to the Lakers. And this shock and awe over this has spilled over into the food world.
If you need an equivalent of what this is, I read a tweet that was really funny to me that said that this was the equivalent of Destiny's Child trading Beyonce for TLC's chili.
Oh, I don't get why our team traded this star.
Like, I don't think it will ever make sense, at least not to me.
It's enough to drive you to drink.
True.
Yes, Sarah, that takes me to this brewery in Dallas, Celestial Beer Works. They've been around since 2018. They do really cool craft brews, and they're known for their really clever design and marketing. Right after this news dropped of Luka getting traded, they shared that they have a new beer coming out, which they do a few times a week. I mean, they are kind of constantly churning out new things. And they have this beer that they just announced that is called Sell the Team.
That's so brutal.
It is. And on the can, there are deflated basketballs and torn nondescript sports like pendant flags. And it says, Dallas, this beer pairs well with our despair and confusion. It is a double hazy IPA.
Oh.
And there's nothing Mavs on the can, but anyone who knows what's been happening in Dallas knows exactly what this beer is about.
Yeah.
And so I called up Celestial Beer Works and I talked to their owner and graphic designer. She wears two hats there for them. So she's the one who designed this can. And she said as soon as they heard what happened with the Mavs, they knew they had to do something. Their brewery is located pretty close to the stadium, so they get a lot of fans who come to the brewery to kind of pregame Mavs games.
So with something like this, did they already have a beer on tap that they were working on and wanted to premiere, and they were like, this is a good name for this?
Good question. And yes, the answer to that is yes. So they already had this double hazy IPA in the works. And Molly Reynolds, who was the owner and graphic designer, said she already had on her to-do list this week to sit down and come up with a new label for this beer. One of their employees is a super Mavs fan and was like, guys, you don't understand. This is devastating. We have to do a beer about this. And the name needs to be Sell the Team.
And I'm going to tell you something. I need double IPA for this pain. You know? I need two doubles, please.
And the ABV of this beer, brilliantly, is 7.7%, which is a nod to Luka's jersey number on the Mavs, which was 77.
No.
And so this beer will come out in mid to late February. And Celestial Beer Works, they sell their beers in their tap room, of course, in Dallas. And they also distribute locally to H-E-B, Whole Foods, and Central Markets just in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So anyone who wants to get their hands on some of these cans, they'll probably go quick. She said usually their beers are only around for about 2 weeks or so. So keep an eye out for them mid to late February.
I'm so impressed with their nimbleness. You know, how quickly you can move. This graphic designer happens to be the owner, so she can just create a new can. And also I'm interested in the marketing of this. And next segment, we're going to talk more about the marketing of a beverage. So less about what things taste like today and a little bit more about how people experience them.
We are very food business focused today, and there is another business in town that has reinvented itself, maybe not as frequently as Celestial Beer Works does with its almost weekly launches, it feels like. But HG Supply Company actually has a new overhauled menu, and this was sparked by what they're terming a personal challenge faced by one of the co-CEOs of HG Supply's parent company, Unco. It was related to a lymphoma diagnosis, and this was a very healthy person, and you're also, very health conscious during treatments like this. This kind of reinvigorated a lot of the menu there. It involved HG partnering with nutrition students at Texas Women's University, also vendors and ranchers and other folks. It led to them essentially overhauling 97% of the menu, which you'll still be able to find things that you love there, but they are just made differently with different kinds of oils and different focuses on the macros.
You said if you care about your macros, and Anna, now I feel like I should. So tell me more. What are macros and why am I supposed to be caring about them?
So macros are essentially the way that they break up the three main things that we should be eating in a day. And it really depends on what your focuses are. Most people are going really protein heavy right now, but your other two are going to be your carbohydrates and fats. And I'll tell you, it was a belated birthday dinner for me and a friend, and half the people at the table are like, what are macros? I don't care about these. And then the other half were like, this is awesome. We're so excited that we have all of these. It is an interesting way to eat and to examine those things. What I learned is that everything that I love at HG is probably the worst thing for you on the menu.
Oh, no.
But at the end of the day, it's still better for you than most restaurants in town. And I don't mean that in a bad way either. It's just they're probably not going to be like bathing your food in butter. I did double protein, which was fun. And they have all kinds of spice rubs and new sauces and things like that are really tasty.
I have a question. So do I have to be conscious about what macros I am in? For example, if I'm going for more protein, you have to order this and this and this? Or is it like an open menu for you and you decide?
They literally wrote down every single macro combination for the dishes on the menu. So if you order X type of protein for one of their bowls, they're going to tell you how much protein is in it, how much fat is in it, how many carbs are in it.
So if you're doing one of their bowls and you're customizing it, you're doing a little bit of math if you want to know exactly what is in it, right? You're adding up your protein and your carbs and such.
Yeah, it's also good for your brain.
Or it's like, hey, put your phone down. I'm not texting. I'm using the calculator function. Yes. It's going to take me 5 minutes to decide what to order.
I'm kind of totally okay with this. I would not advocate for macros to be put on every menu ever. I do think that it would be great if every restaurant has them available if someone wants or needs to know. But, you hear this all the time of like, you should be getting 100 grams of protein. And you're like, cool. I don't even know what the hell that looks like. Mm-hmm. Like, how are you supposed to know how much protein you're getting when you're dining out?
I mean, they even did the drink menu. So there's certain drinks that are under 120 calories, which again, sometimes you're like, I really didn't want to know that about that thing that I love, but they do give you options to do both. It's an experience that makes you more cognizant of what you're actually eating and how it's fueling your body, which I think is a good thing.
I have a solution. Restaurants should have a menu where if you want to know the nutritional value of your dish, it should be a little scratch off. You can scratch it off to see it.
It's an activity.
If you want to know, but if you don't want to know, you don't have to see it.
I love that idea.
I do think that creates a lot of waste. So let me counter that with an idea of, those ones where you would put that red magnifying glass for like the spy books and it would have like the blobs and then the thing would appear. Let's do that just so there's not as much paper waste.
So I've got a third idea, which is way less involved, and it's just a flap. It's a fold over flap on the right side.
Okay, fair.
And you can open the flap to be surprised or leave it closed if you hate your health.
Oh my gosh.
I wonder about the waiters because how many questions they have to answer in this kind of restaurant.
Far fewer now that it's just on the
Yes.
menu. You know, I really do think that it kind of like makes it easier on service staff if your menu can answer a lot of the questions that people who would be going to a place like HD, which is known for more healthful food, you know.
I don't know. I'd be like, okay, Samantha, here's what I had for breakfast. And here's what I had for lunch.
Yes.
I didn't go to the gym today. What do you think
Yes.
I should get? And she's going to be like, I don't want to answer that question.
And also, I am not a nutritionist.
Yes, that's right.
I will say this also really does seem like a great option for people who do have to be really health conscious for what they're eating, like the co-CEO. Even just having one or two restaurants in your back pocket that you know you can go to and know exactly what you're eating, I think is super beneficial.
And we are going to keep going around the horn with a little bit more food news. Sarah?
Crossroads Diner is back. This is a beloved breakfast place. You really don't want to be counting your macros here because you'll be eating sticky buns, probably, if it's the weekends. Crossroads Diner is beloved for its pancakes and, you know, kind of carb-forward breakfast items, in addition to your egg scrambles and that kind of thing. They also have a lunch menu with some really great sandwiches. Crossroads Diner was open for almost 10 years in two parts of Dallas, and it closed in November 2020 during the COVID pandemic. It was closed for just over 4 years, and the owner was counting those days. 4 years and 71 days later, he reopened Crossroads Diner at a totally different location. Now it's in South Plano, kind of close to where Collin Creek Mall used to be. And it is amazing how much people love this place. I wrote about the restaurant the morning it opened, and it was one of our biggest food stories of the week.
Sarah, is this the place that was known for giant cinnamon rolls?
It is absolutely known for its massive breakfast pastries.
Okay.
So we know that people in DFW seem to love Crossroads Diner. Now I want to know if we're going to love another big deal brand. Guy Fieri, the very famous spiky-haired Food Network star, has opened a new restaurant. In fact, it opened the day this podcast landed. And no, they did not time that with us. He's pretty much the biggest food celebrity on Food Network and really in the United States, or one of them at least. And we've been watching him, you know, since the early 2000s on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. And he made many small restaurants in Dallas-Fort Worth famous. He put them on television. You know, despite that some people love to hate Guy Fieri, he also gave a huge leg up to so many people. We all know Guy Fieri, right?
Yep.
Definitely. I think he's inescapable.
That's a great way to put it. Yes, he's inescapable. Even though he has restaurants all over the place and has visited dozens of our restaurants, we did not have a Guy Fieri owned restaurant in Dallas until exactly today, my friends. It's called Chicken Guy with an exclamation point at the end. So more like Chicken Guy.
Which I will say the first time I saw this, my question was AP style. Do we have to put the exclamation point on it?
As the typer of the exclamation point every time, Claire, I didn't love it.
It's almost on the same level of spelling something with a K when it's supposed to be a C.
Yeah. Yep.
I just have 3 words for Guy Fieri. Mayor or Flavor Town. You know that character? So let's see.
If he brings the flavor?
Yes.
Good
let's see.
point.
It's a great question. Okay, so let me tell you what this restaurant is. It's a chicken tenders place, basically. You can get them as they come. You can get them grilled, and you can get them in a sandwich. And then sides are things like French fries, mac and cheese, fried pickle chips. And then there are a bazillion sauces. Let me walk that back. There are a lot of sauces. A bazillion isn't factually correct. Some of them are his Mayor of Flavor Town brand that you can buy in the grocery store, and some are not. So if you're somebody who likes a piece of fried chicken dipped into 1 or 14 dippers, you might find yourself at home at Chicken Guy.
Chicken Guy?
No, that would be a question mark. Imelda, you try the Chicken Guy with the exclamation point.
El Chico del Pollo. Yes.
Ooh,
So much better.
It's so much better.
If he wants to consider rebranding, we do have someone on top of that. Her name's Imelda.
So anybody listening, this restaurant is at Walnut Hill and 75 in Dallas. If you know the Trader Joe's on that corner, it is very close. And love or hate Guy Fieri, I got so much feedback from readers about this place. They're excited. I had one person ask if they could have my media invitation to go see the restaurant early so that they don't have to stand in line today with everybody else who wants to go to Chicken Guy.
Which the answer to that, by the way, is no.
I'm so
For
glad you
anyone
clarified,
wondering.
Claire. Yeah, no, much as we would love to help you out. So if you've been to Chicken Guy, I'd love to hear what you think of it because there was a lot of reaction from foodies and not foodies all around DFW.
Imelda, you've been working on something really cool.
Yeah, it is cool. I want to tell you about this restaurant. It's called Argentina 163. It opened 2 months ago in US. This is a great place because they are setting up the mood for the 2026 Soccer World Cup. You know, Arlington is going to be one of the hosts of these games. So this restaurant is called Argentina 163 because it's in honor to the 16 American Cups Argentina has won and the 3 Soccer World Cups. So these are real fans of soccer. When you enter the place, the first thing that you see is a giant picture of Lionel Messi kissing the World Cup that they won on 2022. So that is the place. So they sell Argentina milanesas, they sell Argentinian pizzas.
Imelda, would you say that the Argentinian soccer team values Lionel Messi more than the Dallas Mavs value Luka Doncic?
I will say so, yeah.
We brought it
for
back.
Sure,
We brought it
back. Actually, you know what? The dream of the owners is that the Argentina selection come and eat at their place in 2026. They are preparing for that.
So it was like a little bit of a like, if you build it, they will come.
Yes,
thing.
that's correct.
What am I trying to eat while I'm there?
So this milanesa, it's very special because it's a breaded beef, but they put an egg on it and cheese and ham and tomato. So it's a really, really rich dish, you know?
And Imelda, can you explain choripan? I ask because I've never had this sandwich before.
Yes, choripan is this kind of sandwich, but it's filled with a special sausage. It's called chorizo. They also have empanadas. I'm sure you know empanadas. And a lot of other dishes from Argentina. Argentinian people have a lot of Italian heritage. So all of the foods that they are offering has this kind of heritage.
Do you think you can watch the Super Bowl there?
I'm absolutely sure you can.
You can read the latest food news and more by visiting dallasnews.com/food. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to be diving deep on a recently launched Dallas product that you might just want to have at your Super Bowl party this Sunday. That's coming up right after this.
Central Market is really into food, like fish flown in so fresh it still has jet lag into food. Our sourdough starter has been around since grunge was a thing into food. We're talking more prime cuts than a greatest hits album into food. Central Market is really into food. If you are too, then we're the HQ for you. Whether you're a make every recipe in the cookbook foodie or a my favorite recipe is reheat type who just digs the delectable, no place makes every day more delicious like Central Market. Really into food. Shop now at centralmarket.com.
Welcome back. In just a minute, we've got details on a new food business. But first, we'd love it if you would help us spread the word about our podcast. If you like it, please tell your friends or anyone you think would appreciate all the information that we share every week. It would mean the world to us. Next, we're about to hear about a Dallas-based beverage company. We don't often focus on a single product on this podcast. Sarah, what is Not Beer and why does it interest you?
Not Beer is a drink that's served in a tall red can that sure does look like something like Budweiser. But as the name suggests, it's not beer. It's quite simply sparkling water. The way that I came across Not Beer was on Instagram. It was served to me, and I was just curious about it. I thought the marketing was cheeky. I clicked through and learned that this beverage was created by a Dallas man who wanted an alternative to drinking all day, but he wanted it to feel cool. And so I sat down with Dylan Dandurand, who is the founder, and he's going to explain what it's all about.
People are shifting away from soda first and foremost, and they're also shifting away from alcohol, and they're turning to sparkling water as an alternative to both. And I think a lot of the current sparkling waters go after that healthy soda occasion. They look like a healthy soda, basically. And not many of the brands were going after that healthy alcohol occasion. So we saw an opportunity there, and we're fortunate that it's a large growing category that is probably going to be around forever. We're always going to drink water.
Now, you're from Dallas. Is Not Beer from Dallas then?
We are Dallas based. We manufacture it outside of Austin. And so my parents are local entrepreneurs. They started the men's skincare company Jack Black, which was really the first luxury men's skincare brand. It has nothing to do with Jack Black the actor, although that is a common question. But the name actually was more about how do we make a product category that's traditionally been thought as feminine, more masculine. And so they looked at the more masculine categories like liquor, and they saw Jim Beam, Jack Daniels, Jose Cuervo, these strong, manly names. And so they came up with Jack Black. And it was right before the actor kind of got on the scene. So that was kind of the concept. And if you look at the packaging, it is inspired by liquor brands and cigar brands. And so very similarly, Not Beer, we take inspiration from the brands that best associate themselves with fun, beer brands. But anyway, so my parents, they started Jack Black in 1999 at a time when men would never care about their skin. They started it in the living room of our family home. And over 18 years, built that into the category leader and really created that category, the luxury men's skincare category. As you can imagine, it was a great learning experience for me. A lot of family discussions around business, the challenges, the opportunities, etc. One of the key lessons I learned from my parents is nothing is more important than product quality. Consumers aren't stupid. You maybe trick them once to buy your product, but if it doesn't taste good, they're not going to be coming back. And so product quality is very important to us. We have a 99.9% pure, really fresh water. And then we add an electrolyte and mineral blend that's unique to us. And that adds to that softness of mouth. And we have a lower carbonation than most of the other guys. The end result is that it's we think, the smoothest sparkling water on the market, and therefore the most refreshing and easy to drink.
I did see the Not Beer sign. I believe it was Texas OU weekend. How do you go about marketing this product, and where and to who?
I think it starts with cans in hands, sampling, getting people to try it. I don't think there's anything more powerful for a beverage brand than getting people to actually try your product. The foundation of everything we do from a marketing standpoint is events and sampling. And so being at a Texas OU tailgate, we were the finish line sponsor for the Dallas Spartan Race trifecta this weekend. Gave out almost 8,000 cans. We're going to the Tough Mudder this weekend. Fort Worth Marathon, Tulsa Marathon, like doing a lot of events where our target market and our target geographies are, and just getting people to try the product. I think that's first and foremost.
I want to try it. I wondered if you could crack open a Not Beer, Dylan.
I'm waiting for you to ask.
We both said we were thirsty, and this is one of those drinks that I can drink at work.
Absolutely.
It also, let me mention, is tall boy height. Are they all tall like this, or they have smaller cans too?
No, they're all tall boy height, and that's on purpose because when you hold a tall boy, 98% of the time it's a beer. And so it helps with that psychological trick of I'm drinking a beer. Whereas if it's a 12 ounce, sure, it could be a beer, but it could also be a soda. It could be anything, really. And so this is a uniquely beer shape, and it helps play into that beer psychology that we want to lean into.
Drinking this reminds me of, I have a coffee mug that says this might be wine that I sometimes pull out for meetings. And I'll say on the record, I've never drank wine out of a coffee mug. It's not actually a good wine drinking experience, but I just think it's funny. And this is so totally that. Can't you see, or have you seen even, people at meetings drinking? I'm sure you've had meetings drinking Not Beer.
I drink it all the time. Our tagline is never a bad time. I've seen people drink it at meetings. It kind of elicits like, what are you drinking a beer? They're like, no, it's just Not Beer. And it gets a little laugh. And that's one of the fortunate things about our product is that it's very eye-catching.
I want to talk money a little bit. How do you finance Not Beer? And then how do you want to grow that?
Beverage can be an expensive game. We raised money from friends and family, and we raised about $2.5 million. But we're very scrappy. Like my parents, when they started Jack Black, they didn't raise any outside money. That wasn't a time when there was really venture capital for consumer goods brands. And so they put their whole life savings into it and had to build it kind of the old-fashioned way where you're profitable each year. And so that made a big impact on me. And, I think we want to invest in growth and make sure that we're still being aggressive, but we want to be smart.
Where do people find these?
So we're available in grocery stores, a few different chains. United, Market Street, Brookshire's, which is kind of East Texas area. United's more West Texas, and Reese's, which is in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And then we're available on Amazon as well. The challenge with Amazon for a beverage is that shipping an 8-pack of this is very expensive.
Because it's heavy.
It's heavy. And so an 8-pack weighs about 9 pounds. That costs about $13 to ship at like a great price. On the shelf, this is like $9.99 for an 8-pack. And so the cost to ship is already, almost 50% more than the cost on shelf.
Yeah.
And so it's not really an e-commerce brand at this point, at least. We're focused mostly on brick and mortar retail. And right now we have those great kind of Texas and surrounding area partners. And then we're working on some other really exciting things. So you have to stay tuned.
It sounds like you also drink. So this is not run by a sober founder.
I still do drink. I use Not Beer as a healthy alternative to alcohol in those type of occasions, a complement to alcohol if I've gone out, had a couple drinks and want something to help hydrate me, and then, a fun alternative to boring water.
Well, cheers, Dylan.
Cheers.
This is Dylan Dandurand, the founder of Not Beer. I'm Sarah Blaskovich, food writer for the Dallas Morning News. We'll see you next time.
That's all the time we have for this week. Be sure to join us next week where we'll be deep diving into Ozempic and other drugs that just may impact appetites and really what that's meant for restaurants and diners across Dallas-Fort Worth. Stay up to date with the food team stories at dallasnews.com/food and listen to all of our episodes by following Eat Drink DFW wherever you find your podcasts. Special thanks to our producer, Julie Fisk. For the news, I'm Anna Butler. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Eat, Drink, DFW from the Dallas Morning News is made possible by Central Market.